Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do for you. Oh, I got a good one for you today. Let's get this party started. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. The message is in the story for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right Thinker's mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right Thinker's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself through the lessons that I give on a daily basis and tune in, receive them, implement them, and you'll do just that. Know thyself. If that's what you tune into me for, that's what I'm doing it for you for. I do what I do. It's all for you. So I ask the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical. But if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and thinks and believes that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know, spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you, right thinkers. Know thyself. And to Mayat, be true. You know I'm in my book, The Initiation. Okay, this is initiation time, explaining to you what initiation is about, breaking down to you the concepts. We in chapter 2. But I'm going to read the back of the book to start out with today, okay? But the title of this one is, Right Thinkers, let's talk about the initiatic way of education and the process of initiation and the purpose thereof. So right now I'm going to go to the back of the book and read what the author say about what is initiation from his point of view. Okay, here we go. What does it mean to follow a mystical spiritual path? Yoga and mystical religion were practiced in the ancient Egypt earlier than any place in human history. For thousands of years, Egyptian yoga and Netarian spirituality is the path of ancient Egyptian mystical religion. This volume provides the fundamental disciplines and the philosophy needed to what? Understand the mystical path and how to what? Practice the disciplines that will what? Lead a person to my favorite spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. So that's the goal of this book. Okay, and we at chapter 2. So I'm gonna take you through the stuff that I think is important and give you what I call the meat and potatoes. Some of the stuff that I call it fluff. So some of it I won't waste your time with, but I try to get you to the meat and potatoes. So let's get to some meat right now. And this is called, it's the initiation introduction, but it's the ancient Egyptian precepts of initiatic education, meaning these are the tools that you need to understand. It tells you from the time of immemorial, the tradition of a teacher and student, me, you, has been carried on by sages and saints the world over. Every culture has somebody who's going to teach a guru, a sage, a saint, a priest, priestess, whatever you call them, but some shaman, the wise man, whatever. So every culture has one. Okay, I'm practicing to be our culture's one. Now, I'm gonna give you a few examples, and these apply what? These are the qualities that anyone who desiring to practice right thinking philosophy, aka spirituality, needs to work on to develop to know themselves. Okay, it's 10 of them. Right quick, I'm gonna go through them, and then we're gonna go over to the qualities of an aspirant, aka right thinker, or any way you want to flip it. Let's go. But these are things that, as a right thinker, you should be willing to do once you become part of, initiated into the right thing philosophy. Watch this. Every cult following, every group of people, organization has some rules and bylaws that govern them. We have some too. Here you go. Now, number one, control your thoughts. Well, sometimes I think, simple as that. It's not a debate. It's what you have to do. Control your thoughts. Second one, in controlling your thoughts, that means you're able to control your actions. And both of those are egoistic. And if you don't have control over it, you're going to have some problems. Okay? Number three, have devotion, reason, and purpose. Just doing something for the, no, it should be reason. It should have a purpose. Some people just haphazardly, willy-nilly. I don't do willy or nilly. Purpose and reason. Understand that. Number four, have faith in your teacher, aka master's ability to lead you along the path of what? Truth. I'm a truth teller. I don't care how you feel, think about it. I'm gonna give you the truth. So if that ain't what you want, I ain't the man for you. Why? I'm gonna give you the truth. So I'm not concerned with how you feel about it. Nope, just give you the truth. You take with it and do what you want. Number five, have faith in your own ability to what? Accept the truth. A lot of people can't handle the truth. They claim to want it, they get it, they freak out. So if you ain't willing, ready, and able, I might not be the guy you want to follow. Moving on. Have faith in what? Your ability to what? Act with wisdom. Again, we don't control our situations, but we do control us in them situations. That's the difference. I've always had to keep my, what I call my self-integrity. I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to lose my cool. I'm not going to go crazy, no matter what the circumstances. Oh, you think you... No. I just have that understanding. I'm not to be moved. Simple as that. All right, moving on. Number 7. This is one of those little kind of hard, but it says, be free from resentment under the experience of persecution. I was just telling one of my students, didn't all the guys who was preaching righteousness and goodness for their people, what they do to them? No, kill them. Why? They know not what they do. No reason and purpose. Sometimes then they regret what they do. So be able to act with wisdom. That's what they said. Doing something and then say, if I coulda, woulda, shoulda, don't work. I call them Monday morning quarterbacking. To know what you should have done after you did it don't help you. Nab it. Okay? Understand that, please. Moving on. Number 8. Now, be free from resentment when under experience of wrong. If you do something wrong and it's unintentional, apologize and move on. If you do something wrong intentionally, you have to suffer the consequences of that action. Don't think, oh, I didn't know. No. You knew. So please, when it was time to go do my time, like my man, I let this out in glory. Take it like a man. Yeah, if you're going to be responsible for the action that you took, be responsible for that action that's going to come get the consequences of that action. Don't be a punk. No. Be tough. Be strong, even when you're wrong. And if you do it on purpose, ain't nobody's fault but yours. So take the consequences that come with that. Moving on. Sorry about that. Number 9. Learn how to distinguish between what? Right and wrong. That should have been rule number 1 for me. Once you distinguish, if I do this, that might be a good deal. If I do that, that might not be such a good deal. Now you know right from wrong. Now that you got the balance and understanding, you become the deciding factor. You can either serve your higher self, God, or your lower self, you. Your choice. Again, these are things that every individual have to make for themselves. Last one. Excuse me. Learn to distinguish what? The real from the unreal. Pretty much the same thing, but what they said is the people you're dealing with. Some people may appear to be real, but a lot of them are not. Smiling faces sometimes tend to be your friend, but on the inside, they really hating you. So be able to distinguish those kind of people. Okay, now let's get over here to the qualities of an aspirant. Now, these are the things that you should have. These are the things that you want to aspire to be. This is the lesson I want to get to. Okay, let's go. Now, the first qualification necessary for what a spiritual aspirant or a right thinker is what? Is that he or she, here you go, must have the initiative or primary interest in what? Advancing spiritually. If this is not what you want to do, I'm not the man for you. This ain't for you. The rascal, they had the horse called algebra. He said, come on, algebra, this ain't for you. So what I'm teaching and what I'm putting out, if you ain't want to be better or want to learn spirituality, I'm not for you. Moving on. Appreciate you if you tune in, but if you expect some other what I'm doing, nah, I ain't gonna change. Moving on. It's no coincidence what? That the word initiative and the word initiation convey a similar connotation. Okay. Why? You must be the one. You must be the one. You must be the one to take the first step toward what? Your own spiritual emancipation. God don't do nothing until you give him reason to. The serpent won't activate until you give it reason to, meaning you have to do something. Moving on. You must be the one to what? Approach what? Others of higher spiritual development. Why? So that you may begin to what? Discover that path which you wish to follow toward your eventual what? Freedom from what? All your worldly pains and sorrows. In short, it is you who must put forth the effort. Again, I can teach and talk till I'm blue in the face. But if you don't take the information and use it for yourself, it's a waste of both our time. Okay? But now watch this. You must put forth the effort will what? Which will affect your own liberation. You are in control of that from the bondage of what? This world's illusion and what? Spiritual ignorance, which grips what? The masses of people all over the world. That number of 85, 10, and 5 I tell you about, 85% of people, they consider y'all ignorant. Not a good thing. We need to change that number, first of all, but it ain't just us, it's all over the world, so don't feel bad. But change that number by changing you. You're a part of the number, you're either part of the solution or you part of the problem. A lot of times we think we part of the solution, but we really the problem. Moving on, we can see a lot of that going on now. Once you having discovered what? This intuitive within where? You, yourself. Now what happens? Now you are qualified. Now you're ready to receive spiritual instructions. We just getting started. But this is the whole point. I'm only going to give you what you want. If this ain't what you want, I'm not your dupe. I'm going to give you what you need. All you got to do is take it and use it, and you'll know, yeah, that was good. So let's get on. The ancient spiritual texts of all traditions state what? That it behooves any right thinker to seek out the true wisdom which elevates which alleviates the pain and sorrow of human existence, while alleviating what? The human spirit, by elevating the human spirit. If the wisdom one holds has not produced an improvement in anyone's quality of life, then it may be possible that what? That teaching of it is practicing is wrong. I wanted to get through that one. I explained to you, if you're practicing or you going to church or you in the church, okay, but that don't make you spiritual. If you practicing the first degree of masonry, the first degree of religion, I mean you know the story. You hear the prayer, you know the verses of the Bible, and then you practice the ritual about going to church. If you stop there, you ain't did nothing. If you don't have that mystical experience, if you don't become enlightened, if you don't come Christ-like, then you're doing it the wrong way. Your actions and your deeds will make something happen inside you automatically. They know that part. Okay, moving on. But I had to make sure you understand that if what you're practicing or what you claim to be, you're not prospering, you're not improving, practicing the wrong thing. I know a bunch of Christian, Muslim, and Jews swear they got something and they ain't got jack but a bunch of nonsense that they want to tell you about. I don't want to hear what you believe. Don't care. Really don't. I don't. Tell me what you know, and then we can have a conversation. Okay, moving on. However, a guide, a guide is needed to what? Show you the way to what? To discover who? The true self in oneself and what? One's higher self. The true self in much the same way as any other human endeavor. You should want to know you. That's what I'm saying. Wanting to know psychology, wanting to know be a doctor, whatever. You should put you on that agenda of things to do. Whatever endeavor you take in life, you know, and you should be one of them. I'm just saying. But someone, what's this? Someone who is knowledgeable about what the spiritual path that you're about to take can help in what? Advising. I do this every day as giving advice and the teaching of who? Others. Take, for example, if you was a concert piano player or even an NBA basketball star, which my son was, and I, in both of these professions, perfected their skills through what? You ready? Correct teaching. You have to cultivate that skill level, okay? And you have to practice. And you bring what? From a point of utter ignorance of their talent and true skill to the level of it being spontaneous performance. When my son got to the level he had to show and prove, he was ready. Why? I groomed him. I put him under constant understanding of the moment that he's playing. The moment don't get bigger than you. Don't forget what you're supposed to do. And it took him right on up. Okay? Understand that. That's the same philosophy in life. It don't change. You can use it for anything. Okay? Here we go. Where we at? Now, in order to excel, watch this. Spiritual development, at spiritual development, aka right thinking, one must apply. In order to excel in spiritual development, one must apply the correct technique and do what? Practice it daily. This is the true path of what? Yoga, by exercising conscious effort when? Every day to do what? To unite oneself with his or her higher self. I tell you, meditation is communion with God. Whether you're male or female, he don't care about that. Sorry. Yoga, watch this, is the union of the individual human consciousness, you, with what? The universal consciousness, which is God, your higher self, can occur. It can occur without any special instructions from a religious or a spiritual preceptor. Why? This is known as the path of nature, or as is better known, you ready, not ready? The school of hard knocks. Trial and error. You try and see what happens. Okay, it may take a while. Okay, that method will take a while. Why? And it involves what? Repeated reincarnations, meaning pain and suffering, in order to teach you what? The futility of trying to find abiding happiness where? In the physical world rather than within yourself. Hope you're getting this because I'm feeling good about this one. Although, watch this, much of the Egyptian teachings have been diffused into the world religions. All of them. I've been saying that also. I don't just make it up. I just give you the information. Here it is again. In the course of time, watch this, they have been, you ready? My biggest pet peeve, misinterpreted and reconfigured so that there is great what? Mass confusion and total misunderstanding as to their true meaning. Excuse me. I'm talking about my book, The Pert Him Haru. It's been translated. It's been changed around like any other book. Shit. But with the part in her wrote, there's still remnants of the truth that's still there, even through translation. And I can tell you, I know we lose things in translation, but you can still get the gist and understanding the meaning. With this new stuff, it's kind of hard. He's saying that, she's saying that. I don't know who to listen to on that deal. So it gets them confusing. That's what they call religion. I don't subscribe to none of them. How about that? So to keep myself out of harm's way, I do none of them. Moving on. And what happened? This has created a situation right there in which what? Many present day clergy, meaning the church people, speak the teachings, but what? Do not have a clear understanding of how to apply them in their own lives to what? Transcend the pain and suffering of their existence, let alone be able to what? Enlighten their followers as to how to evolve spiritually. Y'all listen to him. I hate to use him, but it was it. T.D. Jakes, y'all loved him when he preached. I followed him because I thought he was a good teacher of the concept of spiritual religious concepts. I had no problem with that. But I got a problem when you parading around and prancing around and everybody loving what you putting out there and you really ain't all you say you are. I got a problem with that. And when people find out about those kind of people, they lose faith in God. He's the man. He don't represent God in that manner. When he's up on the stage in the pulpit, giving you all the good stuff, he represents God. But when he in his own doing he do behind closed doors, it's a little different. That's why I rock the eye. God is watching me all the time. I told you, integrity is doing the right thing when ain't nobody watching. Let alone a bunch of people taping and all that. I ain't going to say that about that. But my point is, when you profess to be something, be that. And because you have people respectfully following you and looking up to you, you just broke their heart. And you put God in the bad light. And most people, I don't care about him. I don't change my philosophy about God. If my pastor, he said, Brother Wright, if I would go out the rail, reel me in, I'd be the first. Well, I said, yo, whoa. I know you. What's going on? So, as long as you got somebody who you can trust that's got your back, they're going to keep you on the straight and narrow. That's all I'm saying. So, a lot of us don't have that understanding. Moving on, let me wrap this up. I see the clock ticking. Yeah. Yoga is a tradition which has established a long proven record of what? Success. It didn't say religion. It said yoga. And what? Teaching those who desire to what? Discover themselves. That's what I got for you. The concept of becoming knowledgeable of what? Yourself. The tradition approach to yoga instruction has been what? Broken up into 3 stages. They are, and again, this philosophical point of view and this formula still is being used today. Watch. Listening. Number 1. Reflecting on what you heard. Number 2, and meditating and working on what you listened to, what you heard, and now it's time for you to manifest it, aka apply it and see if it works. That's how you learn. That's how you progress. And watch this. In a broad sense, you will be instructed in the same manner throughout this book, this series. Why? First, you will receive the teaching. That's what I'm giving you. Then you will be assisted in what? Reflecting on the teachings and incorporating it in what? Your daily life. That's why I'm here every day for you. So you can follow along every day. I'll be right here. Okay. You will then what? Be instructed again on what? How to intensify your reflective moments, and gradually you will reach a meditative state of concentration on what? The divine. That's when you start to commune with God on your own level, on your own time, in your own way. I don't tell you nothing about that. That's all on you. Okay? You need to do what you got to do. Only it's going to work for is you. Wrap it up. Every true mystic tradition, be it religious, okay, or non-religious. That's why I'm at. I'm on the non-religious side. Please understand that. No offense. Watch this. Requires, no matter which one it is, watch this. It requires a traditional mystical link because initiatic teachings given to those who become initiated into a tradition needs the benefit of what? What they need the benefit of? You ready? A preceptor who has received the teachings from an enlightened teacher and has correct understanding of the teachings. You just can't claim to be this and claim that, and when it's time to show, you hemming and hawing and dipping the dot. No, are what you say you are, or shut up and don't say nothing. Otherwise, what? It would be as an Eastern parable right here. Listen, like a blind person tried to explain the other blind person that the world looks like simply using what? His imagination and wit. Why? Because he got no sight. Neither one of them. So if you ain't got it, how you gonna give it to me? Again, expanding, teaching stuff, knowledge, and giving it. If you don't have it, you can't teach it. So stop trying to fake it and have people thinking you so smart. Moving on. There are other intellectuals, here you go, who what? Who come to believe, watch this, that they have attained enlightenment. Why? Because they read a scripture. They know a few lines. However, watch this. This is the proof of the pudding right here. When they are tested by what? Natural human situations, adversities. What happened? They cannot control their emotions. They cannot handle the situation. How about that? Some immerse what? In the subtle ignorance and egoism of the mind don't even realize what? Their misunderstanding of the teachings and of their own attainment of certain spiritual levels. They think they got something and they really don't. We see a lot of that going on, so I understand that. Let me wrap it up for you again. Others study, watch this, the teachings with earnestness and great seriousness, right thinkers, and what they find that they cannot realize the subtlety of the teachings in order to effect their enlightenment. They find that they cannot control what? Their minds, emotions, or desires as the teaching suggests, and thus they are unable to actually discover the deeper meanings of the teachings. Why? When you are subjective, you're only going to take in what matches your subject concepts. But when you are objective, now you're open for what? Something new, something different. You're not holding it accountable to be what you think it is. You are receptive to whatever it is and make an example. And it is an example of the inability to control the mind is what? You're a cigarette smoker. And you know that cigarette smoking is poisonous. And yet you are unable to stop. Why? No self-discipline. If you know it's wrong, you still do it, you should suffer the consequences that come with that. Most of it is what? Cancer, disease, and asthma, and all that other good stuff. But watch this. Because their self-knowledge, don't know themselves, their self-knowledge is what? Superficial, aka egoistic. And they have not discovered the wellspring of what? Will and inner fulfillment within themselves. So they continue to what? Search for fulfillment where? Outside of themselves through what? Objects which seem to gratify their needs, but in reality, these external habits that seem to bring pleasure are what? In reality, leading to greater pain and more disappointment. In essence, asthma, heart disease, and lung cancer, along with greater restlessness and mental unrest because of things that you do to yourself. Those are called fetters. And the ego self is self-destructive. It will do what they know is wrong and don't care about the consequences. That's why it should not be leading you. You should lead with this head, not that lower head who just wants to be pleasured. Right, thinkers? Hope you got the lesson. I'll be back with more. Let's see, the clock is running. So in closing, you know the deal. May all right thinkers live to be 100 and be 100 minus a day. So I never know the right thinker like you have passed away. I'll be back. I got plenty more.